All right, Shalom. Shalom. I'm going to first and foremost give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well, and salutations to you, sincere, hopeful elect Akim that puts the word of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai in spirit and in truth. So, coming back at you with another lesson, getting into some current events. As you see here from RT, the title reads, Putin compares Russia's new missile to meteorite. Okay. It says the Orshnik is capable of penetrating heavily fortified complexes, the president has warned. The strike power of Russia's new state-of-the-art Orshnik ballistic missile is similar to a meteorite impact, President Vladimir Putin said on Thursday. The hypersonic weapon is capable of successfully hitting heavily fortified targets, he added. Moscow already has revealed such missiles at its disposal and has begun mass production of the advanced weapon system, Putin told a summit of the Collective Security Treaty Organization in Kazakhstan's capital, Astana. This is like a fallen meteorite. We know from history where meteorites had fallen. We know from history where meteorites have fallen and what the consequences were. What lakes were formed, the Russian leader said. All right, now, with all this meteorite mumbo jumbo, a lot of that is BS. But I will say the account of Sodom and Gomorrah gives a perfect example of the object, falling from the heavens, all right, and destroying, certain land masses, or certain portions of land, or certain soil, okay, because ancient Sodom and Gomorrah is that soil is corrupted and destroyed to this day, where it was, that fire that came from Yahweh, where it fell, all right, that soil is jacked up to this day, all right, it's polluted with sulfur, okay, which results in nothing being able to be grown in that area, all right. It says Putin did not elaborate, although one of the world's largest impact craters, whatever, I ain't trying to read all that, because Esau is always going to get into some BS. They don't even know what the hell they talking about. All right, they're going to just start lying and putting that $1 million, not $1 million, but 100 million year old stamp on things that they don't have no understanding of. But there's one point that I want to get to in this article where it had me think of this scripture in Second Ezra. So let me try and find it. So bear with me. All right. Well, down here, this last paragraph, it says, speaking at the CSTO summit on Thursday, Putin said Moscow's weapons are superior in several aspects to Western-made missiles. Russia is also producing much more of them than the entire NATO bloc has stated. He stated the Orshnik, in particular, has no counterparts in the world, of course, and I believe none will appear anytime soon, the president said. So there's nothing that any Western country can do to counteract this missile system. Okay, so that's why when the scriptures say in Jeremiah that none shall break their ranks, they're not going to break their ranks because there ain't going to be no air defense system that's going to be able to counteract or intercept any of these Russian Orshnik missiles. Okay. So let me, where is this at, man? Okay, here we go. Right here, this paragraph that I'm highlighting. It says a massive strike with such missiles would be comparable to a nuclear blast. He added, anything located in the strike center is obliterated into elemental particles, reduced to dust, the president said. All right. So once again, it says a massive strike with such missiles would be comparable to a nuclear blast. He added, anything. So he's talking about using these without even putting a nuclear warhead on them, and this is a damage that they'll provide. Okay, so how much more when this nuclear destruction actually takes place, according to prophecy? Okay, it says anything located in the strike center is obliterated into elemental particles, reduced to dust, the president said. All right, so that off top had me think about this here in Second Esdras. Okay, because starting off it says Second Esdras 13 and 1. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days. So like it, bear with me 1 second. All right, it says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves thereof. Okay. It says, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. All right, because this is Yahweh Shai and the angels that's going to be coming back from the heavens, okay, from the sea, from the waters. All right, because up in space, there's water up there, but it's just not formed to make the element H2O, which we have being water here on Earth. Okay, but Yahweh Shai is coming back with the angels from heaven, all right, from outer space. And when that happens, everybody that's on planet Earth that sees Yahweh Shai in the chariot, and the angels in the chariots, approaching Earth, it's gonna be a dreadful sight, because a lot of people don't know what the hell is gonna be going on. All right, even for brothers who we gonna rejoice, but it's still gonna be a fearful sight. All right. It says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire. All right, so that's them right aiming thunderbolts. All right, the wappo zappo that's gonna be coming. The laser fire that's gonna be coming from the chariots. Zapping people at will. In verse 5, it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. All right, and when you see these actions that's being taken by all these nations to pretty much join this war, because it's not a coincidence that you just had a ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel, and then 3-4 days later you see jihadists trying to take over Aleppo in Syria, in which you had ISIS that was down in Syria some years ago, about 5-6 years ago, running amok. And you had to have Bashar al-Assad, the president of Syria, had Putin's Air Force come through and cause havoc and put an end to that situation. Okay, so all this, these wars and skirmishes and battles is all orchestrated, and it's all preparation to gather these nations together in the Middle East for World War III. All right, so that's what that multitude of men is. All these various nations that's gonna band together uh, to try and defeat Yahweh and the angels. Okay. Um. So once again, verse 5, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea." It says, so like, bear with me 1 second. All right. Verse 6, it says, "And I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it." And that great mountain is referring to a chariot. Okay, that was the verbiage used, or the vernacular used, the words used to describe the chariot. All right, it was so massive that it looked like a mountain, graved without hands, like an unhewn mountain. You know, it says, "And after this I beheld, and lo," or actually, verse 7, it says, "But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not." All right, so Ezra is looking around like, okay, what mountain in near to me, all right, is missing? you know, like if you live somewhere where there's mountains or big old hills, all right, and you just look up and you see a mountain in a hill or a big ass mountain just floating, you gonna look around like, hey, what mountain was taken up off the earth and caused to fly in the sky. All right, so that's what Ezra was thinking. Okay, "But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight." Okay, so all these armies that's being gathered for World War III, all right, the ones that survive upon Yahushua's return, their air forces is going to be scrambled. Them jets is going to be scrambled to try to attack Yahushua and the angels. Okay, they're going to be scared as hell, but the Lord going to put the spirit on them to continue to fight. All right, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war, but only as I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been, a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. Okay, so the one thing that the angels, Yahweh Shai and the angels is gonna do is hit him with that laser fire. Okay, that's the means by which Esau's defeat is gonna come. That laser fire. Okay, and that's plenteous and endless. Okay, plenteous and endless, and that's how these armies is in militaries is gonna be defeated. Okay. Verse 11, it says, "And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid." All right, so this great multitude that's gonna come to fight against Yahushua and the angels. All right, that's gonna band together to fight against Yahushua and the angels. In an instant, okay, are they gonna be burned up? All right, and an innumerable multitude is gonna turn into dust and smell of smoke. All right, dust and smell of smoke. So that scripture came to mind when reading what Putin said here in this paragraph, right? When he said anything located in the strike center is obliterated to elemental particles reduced to dust. Hey man, that's scriptural, because that's what Yahushua is going to do, and the angels is going to do to these militaries. Okay, so Esau's missile capability is not on the level of the technology that Yahushua and the angels has, but it's going to be effective in destroying Babylon the Great, because that's the main place those missiles is coming from Russia, China, and the UK, so on and so forth. The majority of those missiles is coming to touch down here in Babylon the Great. So this place is going to be on fire. It's going to burn for a long period of time, according to prophecy. Now, I want to read this real quick from RT as well. It says Russian jet strikes jihadists near Aleppo and Idlib in Syria. Okay, military says more than 400 terrorists have been killed in a wave of airstrikes, a Russian colonel has said. It says Syrian and Russian forces have killed more than 400 jihadists in a series of airstrikes near the cities of Aleppo and Idlib, the Russian military has announced. The terrorists had launched a surprise counteroffensive against government troops on Wednesday. Okay, so you got these jihadists, all right, these terrorists, okay, that want to pretty much overthrow the government. So they come out of hiding 5-6 years later to to be demons. Okay, it says the body count was announced on Friday by Colonel Oleg Ignatayuk, the deputy head of the Russian Reconciliation Center for Syria. Ignatayuk's announcement came after Syrian media claimed that Russian and Syria warplanes had bombed terrorist targets in dozens of locations throughout Idlib and Aleppo provinces. The Syrian Arab army claimed that the strikes have inflicted devastating losses on the jihadists. The Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS terrorist group, formerly known as Jabhat al-Nusra, and a collection of allied militias, attacked government-controlled territory in northern Syria on Wednesday, breaking a fragile truce established by Russia and Turkey in 2020. All right. Indirectly armed by the U.S. and allegedly backed by Turkey, Jabhat al-Nusra was one of the main factions opposing Bashar al-Assad's government during the war in Syria. Russia intervened in the conflict in 2015, helping Assad to retake much of the country from Jabhat al-Nusra Islamic State, and dozens of U.S.-supported armed groups considered moderate rebels by Washington. It continues. But we see this situation over in Syria heating up, once again. All right. So that Middle East, the Levant is a melting pot that's about to boil over any time. Okay, it's about to boil over. So let me grab this here in Isaiah chapter 9. verse 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." All right, so wars in the ancient world, were fought with cavalry, you know, uh, lance and spear, sword, you know, what else? Propulsion systems, catapults, things of that nature, man. All right, where you heard a lot of clinking when you watch these old war movies, clink, 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 clink. The swords, clink, clink, clink. Dudes being thrust through, screaming and guts falling out and all that. Confused noise, man. Just kind of the closest thing I can compare it to would be, offensive and defensive line, um, in the NFL or football period when when the ball gets hiked, and you got all these weird noises being made because it's a bunch of energy being exerted. Uh, you know, you trying to push around 300 plus pounds. That take energy. You exert energy, and you have to breathe to do it. So that's why all them crazy noises be made. So how much more in the heat of war, man. All right, in the heat of war, it's a certain spirit that's upon you. Okay, which contributes to confused noise. All right, so in times past, that's how these wars were fought. Every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, thermonuclear missiles, man. Verse 5 in NLT, it says, "The boots of the warrior and the uniforms bloodstained by war with all will all be burned. They will be fuel for fire." All right, so that lets you know, just as we read in Second Ezra, dust and smell of smoke. All right, all those soldiers, various military that's going to be gathered, that's over in the Middle East. If they stay there long enough, they're going to be turned into dust, smell of smoke, fuel of fire. Okay, that's what that's what there is to look forward to being in the military. All these U.S. military troops is eventually going to get carted off right over there, shipped off to the Middle East. All right, to participate in World War III. All right, this is Joel 3:1. It says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem," all right, Judah and Jerusalem, the northern and southern kingdom. All right, we're about to be delivered up out of this captivity. We're about to be, saved. All right, we're about to be redeemed. Abaratazah. Okay. It says, "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land." So World War III serves to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel, as well as punish all these nations, because all these nations are guilty, all right, whether directly or by association, of pretty much continuing the destruction of the Israelites, continuing the oppression of the Israelites. So that's why the Lord is making sure all nations is going to have some role to play in this Third World War. Okay? It says, "And they have cast lots for my people and had given a boy for an harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink." Okay? Yea, and what have I to do with, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense? upon your own head. Okay, so right now in that coast, Tyre and Zidon and Palestine, you got that the Gaza Strip, the Palestinians, they going through a famine right now. All right, they're jacked up. So we see how the Lord got them. All right, Syria, that's right up the block, right up the street, and we see that they going through it. You know, it says, verse 5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that they might remove them far from their borders. All right, and we've been sold. These heathen nations actually sold us, and also you had wicked ass Israelites as well that sold us uh, to Esau, Edom, um, for whatever advantage was available to them. All right, it says, behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. So the Lord is gonna beam us up, deliver us up out of these countries, the elect, that is, the countries that we have been sold and ended up in. And when after he does that, these nations is gonna be recompensed. All right, Esau, Edom, and the nations is gonna be recompensed. All right, which that's the purpose of World War III. Okay. It says, and I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them into the shall sell them to the Sabians, to a people far off, for the Lord Yahweh has spoken it. All right. So, we gonna have Esau Edom captive, and we actually gonna sell him. And the Sabians is referring to Hamites. All right. So we gonna be making deals selling Edomites, or not even making deals. We gonna be selling Edomites in the kingdom. All right, for purpose of slavery. Okay. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And the events that's happening in the earth serve to prepare these armies, these mighty men, for the war that's coming. All right. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Which is why you have governments that aren't so much focused on agriculture. They're not so much focused on the infrastructure of the economy as much as they are war, preparing for war, making sure they have provisions and weapons and allies and this and that. That's what a lot of these countries are heavily concerned with as of lately. Verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. And the mighty ones is talking about the angels. Because just as we read in 2nd Ezra, that multitude that came with that violence, thinking they gonna do something, is gonna be smoked. Okay. So when all these nations is mustering up and participating in World War III to whatever degree the Lord has them, the Lord is gonna have the mighty ones, being the angels, come down, touch down, and do their thing. Okay. It says, let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge the nations round about. All right, and that Jehoshaphat in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat, which means the Most High's judgment. Okay, so this World War III is really the Heavenly Father's judgment on all the nations of the earth. Okay, going back up to the top, where it says them being recompensed for what they've done to Judah and Jerusalem, the northern and the southern kingdom. Okay, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. Okay, so the wickedness of these nations is great, man. You got, you got them thinking that they're going to be able to venture off to other planets. All right. You got Elon Musk with these cyber robots. You know, just all this stuff dealing with technology is nothing more than great wickedness. Wickedness being full and overflowing. All right, because with all their invents, their inventions, that further causes this land to be, the planet to be in a worse condition. All right, so they got to be stopped. All right, it says multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. All right. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. All right, so as these things happen, this battle in World War III, we see what the conditions of the earth is going to be. However, the Lord's elect is going to hope in them. The elect is going to hope in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, knowing that these things have to happen in order for us to be delivered. All right. Verse 17, it says, so shall they know that I am Yahweh, your power dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no stranger pass through her anymore. All right, because the Lord is coming to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel, and when he does that, it ain't gonna be no heathens dwelling amongst us. Just how when we came out of ancient Egypt, we were supposed to get all the heathens out the land when we took over the land of Canaan, which became known as the land of Israel. We had the Hamites in there. We were supposed to boot them niggas out of there, and we didn't. And that came back to be a thorn in our side. All right, this time, the Lord is going to make sure and ensure that all these nations that don't belong around us is no longer around us. And never again will you have, the heathen dwelling amongst us Israelites in the kingdom. All right. But, that pretty much concludes the lesson. I just wanted to bring out those two articles with some scriptures. You got this war brewing up with Russia, in Syria against the jihadists. All right, something old that Esau is trying to, the West is trying to brew back up. All right, as well as you got Russia's president Vladimir Putin pretty much saying that there's no rival to this arsenic missile system they have, and that it'll turn if you whatever it hits. Anything located in the strike center is obliterated to elemental particles, reduced to dust. Okay, so that's them is strong words, man, and it's all gonna happen, man. It's just a matter of time. So, I brought this out. This was edifying. Till next time, I say shalom.